Hello everyone, and now welcome to game number 2 in the series between Tho and Happy. As you guys can tell, the game has already started. I'm currently at the 1 minute 40-second mark of this game as the game is getting underway. Archmage up against a Death Knight in game number 2. We'll see what Happy is going to bring to the table here in game number 2. You can use a lab from that farm? Can you? Oh wow, very nicely. I did not know that. Wow. So that scout farm in that location is somehow actually able to see up onto the high ground, and you're able to use the lab from that location. That's kind of strange. And thank you. If you do not know who Jan M is, that is actually Todd. Jan Merlot, also known as Todd in the WarCraft 3 community, one of the English caster alongside Back to WarCraft. If you guys have not done so, definitely check out Back to WarCraft's Kickstarter page. There is a link to it from my Facebook. And my Facebook, just search for Crota and WarCraft 3. I'm sure you guys will find it. And you guys can go ahead and support the upcoming WCA coverage that Back to WarCraft is doing. I believe that they are going all on their own dime as well. So yes, all of the WarCraft 3 coverage is more of an act of love for the game than an actual professional coverage right now, as WarCraft 3 seems to be getting new life here in 2016. A quad footman and an archmage now wandering around here looking to take down some of these skeletal minions. A quick boulder, and there goes a skeletal minion there, and an ensnare as well. Are they going to try and engage? That is going to be the question now, as you see some skeletal minions going to be taking a little bit of damage as well. Now, some of the issue with this is that those skeletal minions are actually taking some of the mana away from those units off to the north. And if you take away enough mana, that's going to be less boulders, less slows, less heals that the Archmage and Militia will have to deal with later. Anyways, let's go ahead and come back around. You can take a look. Archmage dropping in another Water Elemental here, going after that one Skeletal Minion, and the Skeletal Minion gets away with just the right amount of life. Death Knight now chasing after, and it looks like it could be the death of an Archmage. Archmage now taken down. Death Knight sitting at level 1. And what is going to be the bigger issue here is that all the experience from this 5-3-3 creep camp is going to be for naught. Quickly going to go ahead and destroy. I believe that was some sort of +6 item, Belt of Giant Strength or something of that nature, as the footmen now have defend as they are starting to turn on each other just so they do not give experience to those other units. All right, Peasant now taken down. One lone Crypt Fiend trying to fight back here. Skeletal Minions are fighting back. No more. Rod of Necromancy charges as the Death Knight is currently low on mana and hit points. Are they going to continue to fight? That is the big question right there. Death Knight down to 63, 64. You can see more Militia coming in to join in again as the Crypt Fiend is just constantly trying to time those attacks, and the Peasant survives with 4 hit points. All right, more attacking underway. Death Knight at 75 mana could come across, gets in a kill there, but may end up losing the Death Knight. No, Death Knight gonna instead Scroll of Town Portal away. Crypt Fiends need to run away from those footmen, as the Death Knight, now very low on hit points, has to buy a potion of healing in order to stay alive and be able to even venture forth. Death Knight down to 100 hit points here. Archmage now going to be able to get to level 2 fairly easily, has Boots of Speed. And Tho, who was behind in this game, is now quickly catching up in terms of the overall experience race. All right, Crypt Fiend is in a big load of trouble. Gonna get taken down by a Water Elemental Archmage already at level 2. Death Knight chasing after units. This one Crypt Fiend gonna try to go back the other way. Is it gonna be able to escape? That is gonna be the big question there, as the Frost Nova onto the Archmage takes it down. A very fast tech to tier 2, unsuspected. And now this one Crypt Fiend looks as though he will be able to live and fight another day again, as he is regenerating hit points on Blight. Okay, it looks as though the Lich did get a little bit of experience there. Death Knight with Potion of Healing and Unholy Aura, able to stick around a little bit longer. Archmage was resurrected at the tavern, so that is always going to be a risky maneuver as well. Excuse me as I take a quick drink. Oh, there was a pause, please. All right, so Death Knight now heading back off to the north here. Had a Rod of Necromancy charge ready to go. Death Knight may be forced to use a Death Coil onto this Crypt Fiend here, but he wants to try and maintain all of this if possible. All right, a quick Frost Nova onto all of those units there. As you can see, damage is already starting to add up. Arcane Tower onto that Death Knight. Death Knight now out of mana as the skeletal minions are completely tearing apart all of these minions here. Militia coming back the other way. Death Knight relatively low as they are fighting back here once more. Lich does not have that much mana to go, but still causing lots of problems here as Tho is investing a lot to just keep this expansion up and running at this point as another guard tower or our arcane tower is destroyed. Crypt Fiend's gonna turn around, get some easy shots off onto some peasants. There they go, some more as the footmen now taking a lot of damage. That Lich adding in a little bit of range attack, high damage that is not piercing, still causing problems. Archmage now joins in on the fight. Let's take a look at this. Death Knight does not have enough. Arcane Tower finishes off one more unit as more units are now still coming back the other way. All right, let's take a look at this. Death Knight in that front line. What is that Lich really hoping to do? Not going to really be able to do much at all. Death Knight needs to retreat here as they defend on those footmen, constantly being toggled off and on. All right. Water Elementals now looking to pull back here. As the Crypt Fiends, wow, just very, very parched today. Lich, Death Knight now looking to engage here. We're seeing a little bit of a dance back and forth between these footmen and the Archmage. Archmage is most likely getting to keep right now, still not at keep, spending a lot of time just constantly training up units. As you see them all of a sudden engaging against these units here. Slow onto the Archmage from the other side. Death Knight going to be in a little bit of trouble. Does have a Potion of Healing and finishes off the Archmage at level 3. Death Knight still alive, does not have, did not need to use that Potion of Healing, as we're going to see the units perhaps resurrected again. Archmage gets resurrected again very, very quickly. Death Knight is in position as well. Another Frost Nova onto that Archmage, as that Archmage is taking some serious damage. Death Knight now going to be forced to use that Potion of Healing in just a little bit. Lich does not have a Rod of Necromancy, so cannot use skeletal minions easily to try and get that mana back up. Sentry Ward has been placed down. Slaughterhouse is in position. As we are looking now at the Death Knight picking up another Rod of Necromancy, and we are finally getting our first Obsidian statue. It feels like the Death Knight has been sub 200 hit points for more than half of this game already, after that questionable initial Scroll of Town portal, putting him behind, but now it looks as though that was the better choice. Meanwhile, footmen are able to clear out the creep camp as the Archmage is going to come over to bring some healing and, well, get perhaps to level 4. We should be looking at an upgrade to keep now, but it is close to the 10-minute 30-second mark, and that means we will not be even seeing a Mountain King until the 12-minute mark of this matchup. Arcane, Zeppelin in the air. We can see that the Archmage relatively low on hit points across here. You can also take a look. Death Knight has an Ankh of Reincarnation. Lich currently sitting at level 2. There goes the Ogre Mauler there. Lich is going to be staying at 2, but should be constantly trying to get more mana through Dark Rituals. Back down across here. Archmage will go after a relatively... Nope, not going to be going after the high-level creep camp. Instead, going to be rushing straight along inside the base. And this could be rather tricky. All right, Happy does not know. Oh, now he knows that a big fight is going to get underway. Death Knight is by himself. The rest of the units need to get in position as we see Destroyer Farm nearly getting upgraded. All right, Crypt Fiends are all arriving to the party right now. Are we going to see, yes, Defend quickly being used, but instead of going after the Footman, going after the Water Elemental. Good use of the Water Elemental in trying to go ahead and make its way over, making its way over to the tower and get destroyed by the tower, but instead not working out that way. All right, wow, this one particular Destroyer is just going after the Zeppelin instead of going after the Archmage. Archmage has dealt a fair bit of damage, but with a Death Coil and a 400 hit point heal, I guess you are not that concerned, as the Destroyer can also devour magic and eat up some of those water elementals that come into play. All right, are we going to see a Devour Magic? There is a Devour Magic right there. It now has a little bit of mana. Could get some more attacks off as well. What is going on? Lich is now sitting at level 3, going to make its way back down, but there is not enough to really go back and forth here. This is not looking good. The Destroyer wants to get some attacks and is now getting some attacks onto some of those units. This is not looking good for the Destroyer. Down to 237 hit points. Gets another Devour Magic, and the Water Elemental gets taken out, but at the same time as the Destroyer, as the Lich now joins in on the fight. All right, going after the lower hit point Footman. There goes one. Another two Footmen could get, 3 Footmen could get taken down. So I don't know, 3 Footmen versus a Water Elemental Destroyer. All of those changes going back and forth, a little bit questionable, as we are now finally getting some more Obsidian statues. The economic advantage for THO is going to continue to grow. Level 1 Masonry upgrade is completed. Level 2 should be underway, with double Griffin Aviaries already under construction. Panda has joined in on the fight. Archmage is sitting at level 4. Meanwhile, Death Knight is sitting at, I believe, 3, and so is that Lich. Mountain King is finally out on the field. No experience, as we mentioned, as the Archmage now needs to head off to the north here. All right, here is the big engagement. Does he realize how big of an army is sitting there up top waiting for him? Lich sitting at level 3. Death Knight sitting at level 3. Destroyer is now quickly going up into the air and gonna go ahead and fight back here. One Obsidian statue is missing those attacks, but the majority of what he's supposed to be doing is healing that back line anyways. All right, Destroyers finishing off that Ogre Magi there. There goes another unit. 1 Destroyer up in the air right now, as we may try to see some sort of engagement onto those buildings. No, we are not. Just simply too many towers in order to really fight back here. All right, let's go ahead. It looks as though too many towers, not an issue. Gonna go ahead and rush in straight on in here, taking down some of those units already. Panda could come in with another Breath of Fire if it can get into position. There goes another level 4 now on the Death Knight, as they are still pushing in very, very heavily. Meanwhile, Mountain King in the backfield. Crypt Fiend gonna get taken down, but those Footmen all together in that front position, getting absolutely destroyed by the splash damage of those Destroyers. No guard towers are left here, as we are going to be looking at another Devour Magic against that Water Elemental. Another Cyclone has been added. Crypt Fiends do not have web. Archmage is in trouble. Stormbolt onto the Panda, as we are now looking at the units trying to get taken down. All right, oh wow. It looks as though, Squirrel Town Portal to over here, and the units will live to fight another day. Meanwhile, it looks as though the Paladin will not make its way out. Wand of the Wind was picked up and used twice on that Archmage. Archmage was out of commission for a little bit. 48 over 60 compared to 49 over 66. Paladin not going to make its way out here, as a new Altar of Kings will need to be constructed. Death Knight now going after the farms here. Squirrel of Town Portal will be able to teleport back home. Units are already in a mad rush run, as we see one Dragonhawk Rider who's most likely not going to make its way out. It looks as though 256 hit points. It looks like it will be able to make its way out there. Death Knight does have level 2 Unholy Aura, but not going to be able to catch up to that flying unit there, as the Dragonhawk Rider is simply far too fast. Archmage still sitting at 4. Mountain King currently sitting at 2. Ensnares going down, as we now see Happy going after a high-level Ogre Magi creep camp. The items are just going to get better and better. Lich now has Unholy Aura. That's going to be quickly sold, or, well, given to Death Knight. All right. Talk about a completely useless item there. That is going to be quickly sold off, as we are going to be looking at the Panda, who's still sitting at level 2. Perhaps the Lich should have backed off here. Oh, Tome of Knowledge. Yes, Tome of Knowledge was picked up by the Panda. Yes, the Panda is a rather studious student. All right, Destroyers ready to go. Gonna go ahead and continue to clear out creeps. And I don't know if I quite agree with Happy's reasoning right now. Going after, yes, this is low-hanging fruit, but not gonna really get him very, very far in the overall race. Griffins are upgraded at 2-1 upgrades. Mountain King now sitting at level 3 with True Shot Aura and Endurance Aura. A very, very powerful hero right there, as the Paladin is still nowhere to be found since the Altar of Kings just got constructed there. All right, Scroll of Town Portal. Well, I guess you have the option to teleport everywhere. If you have that additional gold, why not spend it? As we see 700 gold in the bank compared to 200 gold for Happy. All right, taking a look back across here. Still clearing out more creep camps. 61 over 78 supply. Army sizes are very comparable, as we can take a look. There is just extra units on the ground here, and more units being trained. Once the units finally get into play, perhaps it will make a difference, as we see, oh wow, beautiful Staff of Sanctuary to avoid the death coil. That unit is going to teleport back home and then just slowly heal over time. All right, Paladin is in field, going after some of these units. Stormbolt onto the Lich, but a little bit too late already, as the damage is added. Another Staff of Preservation saves another unit. I believe that is 2 Staffs of Preservations, 1 on the Mountain King, 1 on the Archmage. Paladin still does not have one as of yet. Happy getting any gold, any extra gold, any way he can, picking up a Ring of Protection +2 on that Panda. 49 over 70. Meanwhile, the units are now going to be making their in. Do we see a web? That is what I'm really curious about. The Crypt Fiends have not launched web yet, and really with a web you would be able to at least force an engagement against this fast-moving army. We still have not seen casting of web, as we're going to go ahead and go off the rest of these remaining units. Panda is at level 3, and now we're going to see an engagement here. All right, there's the web. Crypt Fiend quickly taken down, as we see Breath of Fire now going across on multiple sides. The Griffins are just far too much. The supply count getting far too high. But what is it going to really matter if it is Destroyers? Well, 20 Destroyers versus, or 4 Destroyers versus 20 Griffins. The Destroyers will eventually win out in that fight, as the Lich and the Panda need to do their job and slow down this Griffin army. All right, Destroyers have now arrived to the party, continuing to engage. More Griffins are being added. More guard towers are added here. There is a Shade that is currently spotted here, and that's going to be some easy experience if they decide to go after it. But the Griffins are just far too many together. I believe that is, what, 9 Griffins right there. 36 supply. We got to be close to 80 now. 78 over 78. Players' forces are under attack, as we now see the Rock Golem going after a creep camp, which, well, fighting back against the Archmage here. All right, Rock Golem could have attacked the air, but decided not to, and instead we're going to see the Destroyers completely destroy all of these creep camps. These creep camps here. Pandas completely blown apart. Guard tower is now going to get taken down. There goes another, and there goes another without getting canceled. That does give a little bit of experience. The Death Knight does have a Scroll of Town Portal. Is he going to teleport back down in time, as the Sacrificial Pit going to get destroyed? All right, Scroll of Town Portal. Water Elemental now going to be trying to engage. There you are. Units are back on the top. They're trying to make their way over. Not going to be able to get there. Lich does have Boots of Speed and Unholy Aura. That is a very fast-moving Lich, but not going to be enough, as the Destroyers just devour magic. Down 1 Water Elemental in pretty much an instant. Paladin is going to have a very bad day. Is it going to get Staff of Sanctuary? No, it is not. Archmage instead, too focused on taking down a couple of turtles. And, well, that was going to be a very dangerous fight indeed. All right, a lot of damage had there. Destroyers destroying. Destroyers at 3-0 upgrades. Shades all around the map, as we are looking over here at the top left now. Mountain King is in position, sitting at level 4, going to be going after this gargantuan sea turtle. It gets taken out. Item. Rune Bracers, a beautiful item for the Archmage at level 5, gonna make him take reduced damage not only from the hero nuking of the Death Knight, Panda, and Lich, but also the Destroyers. The Destroyers will not be able to really focus down that Archmage, and it's gonna be up to Happy to notice that the Archmage is nearly not as squishy as it normally is. Supply count sitting at 85 over 90 now, and Happy is just simply in trouble. Happy has done a better job in getting hero levels, level 4, level 4, level 3, compared to, I believe, a level 5, level 5, level 4, and level 1? Yeah, level 1 on the Paladin. But at this stage, that Paladin is just walking around doing plenty of heals. There is a shade. It is going to be quickly revealed. It is going to be hidden. And, well, one more reveal, and there goes the shade. All right. Are we going to see an Acolyte attempt to hunt this gold mine now? I do believe so. Only 1 minute left of mining here, as both sides are still looking for the next fight. This is going to be a very, very dangerous fight for Happy to be in. He's seen at 66 over 70 compared to 87 over 90. 45 seconds left mining at this gold mine as the Destroyers completely finish off all of these extra peasants here. All right, here comes the engagement. Archmage is in position as we see a quick Frost Nova slowing down all of those Griffins. Again, Holy Light being brought over, and the Destroyers just running away once more. So many air units as the Destroyers are now just attempting to run back away once again. Where are these units going to go? A beautiful Frost Nova on a Paladin, getting some extra damage across multiple Griffins again, and that is the reason why you need to have that Lich. Lich now sitting at level 5 but does not have mana. That is going to be a problem indeed, as the units are still all wandering around once more. All right, expansion location here. This is going to get destroyed before it even gets up. Go ahead and cancel it. No, not canceled at all. Destroyers now need to engage. Are we going to see an engagement? Breath of Fire missing the majority of those units, as the Archmage should really be looking at considering getting some Scrolls of Healing up in order to counteract those Breaths of Fire. Back across off to the north here, a little bit of long distance mining. No one is mining at all. What you see is what you get. Destroyers engage. Now backing off again. Frost Nova, who's going to come out on top? Stormbolt onto the Lich. Lich is in trouble. Lich is in a lot of trouble. Lich gets a Death Coil, tries to stay alive. Units are all just running back again. Destroyers are in a bit of a run. No Obsidian statues to give mana to the Lich. What is going on here? As we now turn around, Breath of Fire could go across. A lot of damage to be had as the Panda now is in trouble. Panda down to 87 hit points, down to 59. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability transferred. Stormbolt onto the Death Knight. Death Knight is in trouble. Death Knight gets another Frost Nova off. Units are still in a frantic run. Will the Lich, Death Knight, will they be able to do anything at all? Scroll of Town Portal, is it going to be able to be purchased? Potion of Invisibility, not used in time. And that is GG. Infi taking game number 2 in this series. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.